I'm going to be breaking down this whole business model in just a few minutes, so make sure to watch to the end. Hey hustlers, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jasmine, aka Jazz Hustles, and I am a 21-year-old Amazon seller. I started selling in the beginning of January 2023, and I'm still going at it. Now, I did make a video similar to this for 2024, but I'm going to be giving you guys an updated video of how to start Amazon FBA in 2025. If you haven't already, make sure to like it up, subscribe for more, and push that little bell so you're notified whenever I post. Step 1, do your research. So first things first, you are going to want to do research on the business model. Of course, you want to do research on any business that you plan on starting, just to make sure that you 100% want to stick it through and start this business. So I highly recommend you watch all of my YouTube videos and watch a lot of other influencers' YouTube videos on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. There's a lot of Amazon selling game out there that you can learn for free. So that's step 1. Step 2 is to create your Amazon selling account. You're simply just going to go on sell.amazon.com and you're going to register for an individual account or professional account. Now, what's the difference between these two selling plans? Basically, for the individual account, you are going to be charged $1 per unit plus all the other selling fees, and you're only able to sell less than 40 units a month. With a professional account, you're going to be charged a straight $39.99 every single month, but you're able to sell as much units as you want. Now, if you're a beginner and you know 100% that you are going to be doing this business, putting your all into this business, I highly recommend just signing up for the professional account. But if you're still kind of iffy with it, but you do want to create the account just to get ahead, then you should just create your individual account. Another reason why I do prefer the professional selling plan is because you aren't even able to win the buy box if you're an individual seller. Now, what's the buy box? Basically, it's the featured offer that gets you more sales when you're on an Amazon listing. You're also restricted in a lot of different brands if you're under the individual account. Now, keep in mind the few steps I'm going to be showing you after this step, basically ungating. You do have to get ungated for every single brand and category that you plan on selling. But if you're under the individual account, it's going to be way harder and you're not going to be able to apply for much brands and they're going to be restricted for you. So off the rip, I automatically just recommend you just start off with a professional account. There's many other benefits that come with the professional account, but I'll just leave a little infographic here so then you can read them through. Once you figure out what selling plan you want to go with, you're just going to easily click the sign up button on the sell.amazon.com website. And here's a few things that you are going to need in hand so then you can create your Amazon selling account. You're going to need to have some form of identification like your driver's license or your passport. I did hear in the past that if you use your passport, then you may get accepted a little quicker. I'm not 100% sure that is true, but try it out and let me know in the comments. You're going to need some form of payment since they are going to have to collect that $39.99 for that first month. Keep in mind, if you're signing up for the individual account, you still have to pay $39.99 for that first month, but they won't charge you for the next months after that unless you are under the professional account and you have active listings in your inventory. So you will need some form of payment like a credit card or a debit card. It might say on the website that only credit card is accepted, but don't worry about that. You can use a debit card. I've also been seeing that some people have been having troubles connecting their bank to the Amazon account. So what you're going to do is make sure that you find the bank, and if you don't find the bank under that category of the options, scroll all the way down and click other and try a few different cards if it does give you that problem. Keep in mind, you do have to be 18 or older to have an Amazon selling account. You also need to input some form of email address. Now, I first started off using my personal email. I do highly recommend just creating a separate email account so then you can have everything separate from your personal to your business. It's not required, but if you want to take my tip, you definitely can run with it. They will also ask you for your bank account and routing number. That's the card that they're going to be sending money to, so keep in mind that. They're also going to ask you for some form of tax information, most likely your SSN, or if you do have an LLC, your EIN. Keep in mind, an LLC is not required, but it is great to have. I got my LLC after I surpassed 10K in monthly sales, which was my 5th month selling on Amazon. So I just decided to get that LLC within my 6th month selling on Amazon. Of course, they're going to ask you for your basic information like your phone number, your email, and your name, and that's pretty much it. Keep in mind, for the form of identification, it does have to be a government issued ID. It can't be like a student library card or something like that. Step 3, buy your materials. Next thing, you are gonna wanna purchase all the materials for your Amazon selling business to get that out of the way. Now, if you do plan on going with a prep center to have them prep your units for you, then you wouldn't really have to worry about this process, but I highly recommend you do all of the steps within the business first, and then you can outsource in the future. So if you go into my description, you'll be able to see all the materials that I have provided for you. Basically, you're gonna be needing a printer, 2x1 labels, sold as a set labels, poly bags, and etc. So just go down into the link in my description and I have all the materials there for you. The only materials you're not gonna see on there are the 4x6 shipping labels and the boxes. Now those I usually get for free from UPS, and also I reuse boxes from hair supply stores, makeup stores in my area, and I just call them up and ask what days they have truck, because most likely they will be getting rid of a lot of boxes that day. I know that because I used to work at Ulta, by the way. Step 4, start getting ungated. Like I was saying before, ungating is something that every seller has to go through, whether or not you're in the individual plan or the professional plan. You have to go through the ungating process, unless you're doing private label, which is you're just basically reselling products that are not on Amazon and you're selling your own brand. That's not what we're doing here. I'm showing you guys how to resell brand name products that are already established, so then you don't have to spend on ads or marketing. And basically you have to get ungated for every single brand that you do plan on selling, just because Amazon needs to make sure that you're not selling anything counterfeit or fake. Now, I do have a lot of ungating tutorials on my YouTube channel, so I'm just going to link it up here for you guys so that you can go through that whole process. So basically, like a summary of ungating, you do have to purchase 10 units from a wholesaler or distributor or an authorized reseller, so then you can get that invoice and provide it to them. Most likely they will be asking for pictures of the 10 total units as well. I know as recently they've been requiring 100 units instead of the 10. What I want you guys to do is try and just use those 10 unit invoices that you guys already have and see if that works out. A lot of my students have been doing that and it's been working out for them. Keep in mind, you do have to keep reapplying, and that's the main thing with ungating. They are not just gonna approve you your first few times, and if they do, then you're just a really lucky person. But I remember I got approved within the grocery category my 4th application. I know a lot of other students have gotten approved after their 10th application, 20th application I've even heard of. So just keep that in mind. Ungating is a little tedious because they deny you left and right, but you do have to keep in mind that the Amazon workers, they live overseas, their first language isn't English, and they also only have like 30 seconds to approve an application because they're going through applications every single minute of the day. So just make sure to highlight as well. That may help you. Highlight the certain things that they need to see so that it's like automatic that they can approve you. But yeah, check out all of my ungating tutorials. They're all really great. Now, after you get approved in at least 10 to 15 different brands and categories, you are going to want to start purchasing your softwares. Step 5. Purchase softwares. So I do leave purchasing softwares as step 5, just because you have to keep in mind that these softwares, they are going to bill you monthly if you don't get the annual one. And there's no point in already buying the softwares for product analysts when you are going through the whole buying materials phases, creating your Amazon account, starting to get ungated. So this is what you're going to want to leave for after you've already gotten ungated for certain brands and categories. Now, what softwares do we need for our Amazon business? Now, I know all of you guys really don't like adding too much expenses into your business, especially if you haven't made any money off of it yet and you're not even profitable. But these 3 softwares are going to be the main softwares that you are going to need for your business right in the beginning. So first things first, you are going to need SellerAmp. SellerAmp is the main product sourcing tool that I use for my business, and it's actually really affordable. I'll leave the link down below to sign up. But basically, the app and the extension gives you access to a lot of data that can help you figure out whether or not a product is good to resell on Amazon. When it comes to how much times the product sells a month, all the competition and sellers on that listing, how much they have in stock and what their price is at, if you're ungated in the product or you need to request approval, if it has suspected IP or PL alerts, basically intellectual property or private label alerts, buy box analyst, basically letting you know how much times each seller is winning the buy box, and many other information that is great for you to know as a seller. Now, the second software you're going to need is called Keepa, Keepa. The main use for this software is to keep up with the trends of a certain product and looking at the price history of a certain product. Now, I have a lot of tutorials talking about these 2 softwares in my channel, so I'm going to link a few right here for you guys. I will link the SellerAmp video. Now, I have a lot of videos throughout my channel that go over how to use these 2 main softwares, but the next software I'm going to be talking to you about is called Sellerboard, which has nothing to do with product analyst, but it is a great software to have to keep track of your backends of your business, making sure that Amazon is receiving all of your units, if not getting reimbursed for those units. Also having automated reviews sent to your customers 5 days after they receive their purchase, so then you can get a review added to your store. The more positive reviews and more sales you can possibly make as a reseller, as well as tracking all the Amazon fees and every little bit that they take out of your account. Now, with the third software, I do recommend you sign up for it when you are actually reselling on Amazon, since it's mainly to track your actual inventory. So if you're just focusing on sourcing and not really actually selling at the moment, and you just want to learn how the sourcing process goes, then wait until you get Seller Board, until you actually have active listings on your store. But the main two would be SellerAmp and Keepa. I do have free trials for all those softwares that I will link down in my description, and also for Seller Board, it's 2 months free trial. I have a link in my description, so then you can try out all these softwares for free today. And if you're interested in already signing up for Seller Board, I have a link for 2 months free. Keep in mind, these softwares are really affordable and also really beginner friendly. Like I said, I have a lot of tutorials on these softwares. For the Seller Board tutorial, I will link right here for you guys if you're interested in that. But I have tutorials throughout my whole channel, basically going over SellerAmp, Keepa, and then also sometimes Seller Board. Step 6, start sourcing. So sourcing is the main part of this business model. If you aren't sourcing or spending any time on sourcing, you are not going to succeed within this business. There's no way that you can just easily find profitable products left and right, here and there, really quickly. That's the part that a lot of people tend to quit on, and I highly recommend you guys don't quit or get discouraged with that process. It's going to be hard in the beginning, especially if you're a beginner, because you've never sourced for profitable products before. You've never really looked into the market. You've really just looked into the market as like a consumer, and you're just buying. But it's a different mindset when you're looking into it as like you are trying to resell it and make more money and invest money into it. But you are going to want to keep that in mind. Sourcing isn't going to be that easy in the beginning. Lucky for you guys, I do have a lot of sourcing tutorials on my YouTube channel as well. I'm plugging all of my tutorials today just because I literally have everything in this YouTube channel that can help you succeed within Amazon FBA without even having to pay me a single dime. There's not much people like me, I'm not gonna lie. And I don't even give watered down information either. A lot of this stuff is really detailed and in-depth. I do have my little services here and there, mentorship and all that. If you are interested, link down below. But like I said, if you know you're a fast learner, you can easily make sales and learn just by watching my YouTube videos. So there's 2 different methods of sourcing. You can either do retail arbitrage, which is basically going into the stores and scanning everything using your SellerAmp app, or you can do online arbitrage and stay in the comfort of your own home and source through the computer, and you can look at online retailers and buy from them and get them shipped to your house. It's really just up to you. At the moment, I'm doing a lot of more online arbitrage lately, but in the beginning, I did a lot of more retail arbitrage. Now, what's the difference between retail and online sourcing? Now, retail, I personally feel like I find a lot of better deals in store, and it's also way less competition with the listings that I do find in store, because a lot of people don't really do RA. It's not the most scalable method, but it is really beginner friendly, like I said. But once you are ready to scale, you aren't going to want to go to the stores and spend hours and hours of your day scanning products through the aisles. You are going to want to start scaling your business, and that's why I am doing a lot of more OA right now. But OA is a way more scalable business model. You're literally just buying from a computer, getting it shipped to your house or wherever to get it prepped and sending it straight to Amazon. With retail, you have to go physically to the store and you have to pick it up, prep it, and then send it to Amazon. So it's really just up to you. I feel like with online sourcing, there's a little more competition, but you have to keep in mind, the quicker you find a product online, the quicker someone else is going to find a product online. Let's say I just sit down, get on my computer, dedicate a little bit of time to sourcing, and within my first 5 minutes, I found a profitable product. Most likely someone else is going to be able to find that same exact one. So if you're going through any problems with like you get your product shipped to your house, and then by the time it gets shipped to your house, it's already tanked and saturated and it devalued and the price is way lower, let's say $10, $20 lower than how you found it, then it's because of the way that you found. So keep in mind that this business is not saturated, but you just have to do the extra mile 75% of people won't do, so then you can actually succeed within this business. You can't be lazy with this business at all, and you can definitely tell if you are starting to come across a lot of like mistakes within your business. That just means that you yourself are making those mistakes happen by being lazy. Now, if you are dedicating a lot of your time to sourcing and making sure that you are looking and doing your due diligence within the product, then you're going to succeed way more within this business. But yeah, I definitely recommend trying both methods just to see which one you prefer yourself. Right now, like I said, I'm doing OA more, but RA, I did a lot in the beginning. Now, after you find your profitable products, what is the next step? So you're going to take them home and you're going to relabel the units. Now, what do I mean by relabel? Let's say, for instance, something you bought like from the store was on sale sale for $5 and you're selling it on Amazon for $20, right? You don't want to leave that $5 clearance label on that product, because if the customer sees that you bought it for $5 and they bought it for $20, you're most likely going to want to return it. So what you're going to want to do is take off any pricing that you see on the product. And then also you are going to want to print out your free 2x1 FNSKU labels from Amazon Seller Central. I do have a video of how to add your product to your inventory and print your labels out that I will link right here for you guys. So basically with those 2x1 FNSKU labels, you are just going to want to cover the UPC code of the actual product. I do have another video of how to actually prep your units for Amazon that I will also link right here. Now, once your units are prepped and good to go, you are going to want to create your shipment and send it straight to Amazon. Now, like I said, I'm just plugging everything that I have because I have all the info already out for you guys, how to send your products to Amazon. I will link right up here for you guys. Now, keep in mind, when you do watch that video of how to ship to Amazon, sometimes the layout looks a little different. They update Seller Central quite often, so it may look a tad different, but it's pretty much the same. But let me know in the comments if you want a more updated video on how to ship your products to Amazon, just because the layout of Seller Central looks a little different now. Just write in the comments, update shipping video. Now, once you send your products to Amazon, we have step 8, making sure you are tracking your inventory, making sure that it's arriving to Amazon. Now, like I said, this is when you're going to want to get the Sellerboard software, so then you can already track your inventory. It's great. Sellerboard, they actually let you know like how much % of the products Amazon received. And if they don't receive 100%, they will actually have like a template for you that you can put into the Seller Central help and the seller support, so then you can get reimbursed for those units. It's really easy. Like I said, watch the Sellerboard tutorial. It's really great. But you are just going to want to keep track of your units. Now, how long does it take for units to get sent to Amazon? Now, the transit usually is not that long. The longer process is having it processed in or transferred to other warehouses. Most likely they will do that. So what you're going to want to do is go into your Manage All Inventory page on Seller Central. You're going to want to click under the SKU condition, scroll all the way down into FBA inventory breakdown. You're going to want to see exactly where your products are at, how much are available, how much are in reserve. And if you don't know what reserve means, basically you're going to scroll down again and you're going to see exactly how much units is in either FC transfer, FC processing, or they are held for a customer order. You'll see all that information. I'll also link a picture up here so then you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Just keep in mind, it's called the FBA inventory breakdown, and a lot of people don't know about that section that a lot of people should know about. It will clear up a lot of your questions when it comes to where are my products, what is going on, why is it taking so long. So usually I would say, let's say that I send products to Amazon and it gets sent to Amazon within like a few days. I want to say like 3-4 days. And then it depends on whether or not Amazon wants to, diversify your inventory into other different warehouses. So they're going to send it into different fulfillment centers. They may not send all of the units. They may just like disperse it into different fulfillment centers, like I said. So that's where you'll see FC transfer. They're just transferring into different fulfillment centers. Now, if it says FC processing, then that means it's at the warehouse that it's going to be staying at, but it's going through that processing phase of having the Amazon workers open the product, scanning it in, and then putting into that little section that you have. So FC processing usually does take a little while, but as long as your products have gotten checked in after you shipped it out, at least like 1 to 2 weeks, then you should be good. Anything over 2 weeks, I feel like is kind of a lot, and you should start looking into how to get reimbursed if you're worried about them losing your units. Sometimes it's a little different, like especially in Q4, the check-in times are way longer. So it's kind of normal if your check-in times take a month around Q4, which is October, November, and December, just because the product demand is going crazy. Everyone is shipping out products to Amazon. But throughout the year, like I said, it should take normally 1 to 2 weeks, maybe a few extra days for your units to get checked in and active on Amazon's marketplace. Step 8, reprice your listings. Now, this is a really important step that a lot of beginners forget to do. They find their profitable products, they ship them to Amazon, and they don't look into them ever again. You have to keep in mind that the market fluctuates all of the time. Let's say it's selling on Amazon for $50, and then eventually, once your units finally get checked in, they're now valued at $30, and you're just not profitable, right? You are going to want to keep that in mind. You're going to want to check on your listings every so often. Now, of course, when they actually do become active, that's when you are going to want to check on them like every day. And eventually, when it comes to a point when you have so much listings, at least like over 25 active products in your store, it's going to take you quite a while to look through all those listings every single day and reprice your listings. So what you should do is definitely invest in a software, a repricing software. I personally use BQ that I will link down below, but I use BQ for the repricing part of the business just because I want to stay competitive within the market and I want to get as much sales as possible. But in the beginning, you don't really have to invest in any repricing softwares. That's why I didn't mention the repricing software on step 5, purchasing softwares. Usually repricing softwares are pretty pricey, so you have to keep that in mind as well. But like I said, you can start repricing your listings in the beginning. Of course, I have a tutorial on how to reprice your listings and how to stay competitive within the market. So I will link that right here for you guys. It's a lot of plugging today. I'm sorry. What can I say? So after you've done all of those steps and you're making your sales, congratulations, you are now a successful Amazon seller, and you're definitely going to want to scale your business to the maximum. Eventually, when you do have everything settled down, you know how to source, you know how to ungate, you know how to do this and that, you are going to start outsourcing. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So outsourcing basically meaning you are going to find someone to source for you. I've actually invested into Fast Track's VA program. He has trained VAs that already know how to source Amazon products. It's a great way to outsource the sourcing process, just because sourcing does take the longest. But I do highly recommend you don't get a trained VA in the beginning. You are going to want to know exactly how to do every aspect of the business when you are a beginner. You aren't going to want to outsource anything in the beginning, like I said previously. So if you go into the link in my description or jazzhustles.com, I've linked Fast Track's trained VA program, and also make sure to use code JAZZ100, JAS100 for $100 off. So basically with my VA at the moment, I pay her like around $3-4 an hour. Keep in mind, she does live in the Philippines, so that is like the normal rate. And she works for me 40 hours a week. I am shooting this video January 16th, 2025. And I can tell you right now that I have spent over $3,000 just this month, just from the products that the VA has provided for me. So it's definitely worth it. I definitely highly recommend once you already have everything going for yourself. And then next, you are going to want to outsource the prepping, since the prepping doesn't really make you the actual money. And that's with using a prep center. So I did use a prep center before in Florida, but I am looking for a prep center that is in a tax-free state. So then anytime that I am having my VA source for product, she doesn't have to add that tax into my cost price, just because I'm going to be sending it to a prep center who's in a tax-free state. So those are the two main things that I'm outsourcing right now, the sourcing and the prepping, which is the main time-consuming parts of the business. So then I can focus on many other things within the business model, as well as other business ventures that I want to get into. And also having time to providing free content for you guys. Love y'all. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video. I feel like I've gave so much information out today, and if you don't like it, then still press like, please. And also, of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Now, every single business model that you're trying to look into, you have to remember that it's not going to be easy in the beginning. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that you keep your head down for at least 6 months and try your best as much as you can. And don't even think about the whole quitting, I'm not going to do this anymore, because honestly, you're not going to be successful within any business if you do have that quitting mindset. Just make the business work for you. But that's pretty much it with this video. If you want to connect with me more, make sure to follow my Instagram and my TikTok, where I post on those every single day at Jazz Hustles. Make sure to try not to follow those fake scam accounts of me. There's a lot of bot accounts on TikTok that pretend to be me. I literally have on my TikTok, I don't DM people on TikTok. So just keep that in mind. If you guys want to look into everything else that I have to offer for you guys, make sure to go into the link in the description or jazzhustles.com. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you got to the end of this video, comment the word AMZ down below so I know you're serious about this business. And I will see you guys next Friday. Peace.